the 10th episode of Talk It Up with Taylor. You guys, we did it. This is the 10th episode of Talk It Up with Taylor. I'm excited. It's a milestone. We are getting things moving. I told you last week that this week would be about who we are as people and more so about me opening up my side of who I am as a person. So getting more into the vulnerability side of Talk It Up. Let's just get into, I didn't do my hair, we didn't blow dry. It's too hot out. It's like 97, 98 degrees here. We had weather lives this morning, breaking news about storm damage. I was not on the heat side of things. I was on the side of things where the gusts of winds were so strong that it was uprooting trees. There were power lines knocked down. There were Fergie's rolling around under the tripod and shaking it. But getting back on track, there were walls of trees blocking roads, trees on people's houses, and I was just doing little shows and tells. There was a roof that fell off a barn and all their 2x4s were on the ground. That was kind of wild. And yet here we are. So if it were an advertisement, which it's not, but Liquid IV, you can't, I don't know why I showed the water bottle. It's not like you can see the Liquid IV. But Liquid IV from Costco, get on it because, Fergie, come on now. Really? I wish I could show you guys her, but again, she's under the tripod. But Liquid IV is a lifesaver. If I could do an advertisement on it, it has the texture of thick water. Besides the point, Liquid IV, it will save you. I try to get my hydration in. Hydration is key, so Liquid IV. Wow, that's an advertisement and a half right there. I like that. Hydration is key, Liquid IV. So getting back on track about last week, moving on to this week about who we are. You saw the title, our different/hidden sides. And so whenever I think about my interactions with people, and I know Alan and I talked about this, how you behave differently around different types of people, right? So in some ways you may act or behave more intelligently, or other people you may act more ditzy, or other people you may act more spontaneous, and others more laid back and chill. And it also depends obviously on the environment you're in, but also the types of people that you interact with because of, their personality meshing with your personality, and you're trying to find that common ground of your personalities. So with that said, I feel like a lot of us are Rubik's Cubes. We show different sides to people, but at the same time, there may be certain sides of ourselves that we don't show people. So I know that one of the sides of me that I don't like showing is my anger. When I get mad, when us Gatonis get mad, I was talking to my brother about this the other day. We're really good at putting off the anger, right? Bottling it up, just kind of, nope, we'll take it. And then boom, it's out. Once you set off the off button, we are livid, we're out there, the anger is out. I don't think anyone's having a good time. So anger is something that we had a pause. I've never liked that side of myself. And I think one of the reasons I don't like showing my anger is, one, usually people see me as the happy-go-lucky person and they're like, oh, Taylor, you're positive, you're high-spirited. But there's that side of me where if you piss me off, I am not a good person to be around. It's not good. I get really in my head. I get petty. The first thing that I become when I'm angry is quiet. Me quiet is terrifying. I've had multiple of my friends go, Taylor, when you're quiet, it's scary. That's when it's scary, when you go quiet. That's when there's a problem that we should address. Because as soon as I go quiet, I'll think, I'll be inside my head, and then it's as soon as I get the guts to let it out and fully confront someone on how I feel, which I don't like confrontation, it's out there. And it's, in one word, it's ruthless. It's ruthless. I can go at someone. I will go off. I will be petty. I will attack. which is not really seen on this podcast because, right, we try to get in the good mood, let go of the things that are holding us back or weighing us down. So here I am talking about one of my insecurities is getting mad. I've had a lot of people, hitting the microphone. I've had a lot of people recently tell me too, like, Taylor, I want to see more of that side of you, more of that fiery side. And anytime I tell people that I have a fiery side and that they should never open it up, it's like when you tell people not to do something, right, they want to do it. So they'll like try to make me mad. And then when they do make me mad, they go, oh, that's why. That's why we shouldn't make you mad. I'm like, I told you so. Like, I don't know. But the more recently when I've heard about it and I've been listening to other people's podcasts, I've been listening to YouTube episodes on just self-growth, and you have to love all of yourself, right? When you love something, you're going to love them despite this, right? When you like something, you like certain qualities. You're not talking about the dislikes. So when you talk about loving yourself, you have to love all of yourself. When you love someone else or something else, it's loving all of it despite whatever other baggage may come with it. And so something I saw recently or heard recently when I was watching one of these episodes on YouTube was, and I'll have to find it. I should start writing these down and putting them in the comments so then you guys can refer to them as like sources or citations, so I'm not just like spitting it out there. Yeah, we'll add that. We'll add that in eventually. Yeah. But it's that intimidation of your own power. And when I'm angry, I feel the most powerful because I'm like, nothing can stop me. We are in this mode that no one can stop me. I'm angry. No one can get in the way. And I love that power. But I don't like the angry side of it, again, because it's ruthless and it's a version of me that doesn't care, but really I do care. I care a lot. And so with this anger, what I've been trying to figure out for the longest time is how to almost like redirect that power to something else. Me and my boyfriend recently watched Avatar. Great show, The Last Airbender. It's wonderful. And they talk a lot about chakras as well as energy. And I'm like, yes, this is my stuff. I love it. I'm following along. I love all of this. And I feel like I watched bits and pieces when I was younger, but I think it just really came at a great time right now where I was like, all right, we're in a little funk. We had that episode called Funky. And now we're getting out of it. One of the things in Avatar, though, is how to appreciate or love all of yourself. How to balance it out. We're bringing back the B word. We're balancing it out. And how you're able to bring it to balance so that you can almost redirect that energy or power to whatever it is you're looking to do, whatever your intention is. And so something else that I really wanted to talk about is how important intention is. When I think about intention as power, and how you're intimidated by your own power, I'm like, okay, what is it about our power that we are intimidated by? Again, it goes back to episode 1. Are we afraid to hit the record button? Are you just afraid to make that leap of faith and do something that you want to do? Or, I mean, okay, the other thing with intention is when you're going into something, are you putting the right intention behind it? I feel like you can use anything for anything. You can use a shovel for multi-purpose things besides digging up the ground, right? You could, I don't know, whack a ball with it like a baseball bat. I don't know, that's a terrible example. But it's an example. Besides that example, I mean, it goes along though, with the intention you're putting behind something, it can have a completely different significance or meaning in life, depending on what you give that power to. Even last week's episode when I brought up Clancy Burke and how she thought of herself as just the reporter because that was the title, that was the label that not only she had for herself, but that many others knew her as well. She was like, okay, I'm the reporter, but what else is it about me that makes me who I am? And so me and my aunt, when we were talking, we were saying, you know, certain labels and titles are great in kind of helping us to show maybe more professionally or establishing a certain part of ourselves, but it does not fully define who you are as a person. So then me and my aunt were talking for about an hour and a half, and I was like, why don't we just bring her on here? That's gonna be a great idea. She's the one with the podcast, Listen Up Ladies, more for middle-aged women. But I've listened to a few of the episodes so far, and I've taken a lot of great feedback, a lot of advice, just great takeaways from her episodes that I have listened to. So we're gonna bring her on here. We're gonna be sharing different ideas. And then a lot of it is about the workforce. I know last week and the week before we talked about how people kind of don't know what they're doing in their life right now. And there's a lot of factors that are adding to it. Not only the factors I've heard from, of course, reporting and hearing other people say it, but my aunt as well. She's on that whole bettering yourself path, and she's talked to a lot of different experts on certain things. So it's really cool to talk to her and be like, okay, that's what you're learning. This is what I'm learning. Let's mesh the two generations together and figure out where that gap is. Beautiful. Going into the labels, I know a few that I've always kind of had for myself or that other people have had for me was starting when I was younger. I mean, we already named the happy one. That was one kind of going against the anger, but we're going to find the balance, the yin yang. The other one was when I was growing up, I ran a lot. I ran track, I ran cross country. I was like the fastest person in the elementary, flex, subtle flex. And then, we kind of trailed behind a little bit. And now, don't ask me my pace or mileage, it's fine. But when I first got done running, I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to the runner? Who am I if I'm not a runner? And then I got into journalism and I was like, okay, I'm the reporter. And now it's like, I started noticing all I talk about or think about or conversations I have with people. It's, oh, how's work? What are you doing in work? Or I go, oh, this just happened at work. Let me tell you what I learned over here, or what we went through, this different experience, this chaotic thing happened. And I noticed that all of the conversations or thoughts I was having was about work. And I was like, hold on. Is this becoming my identity? Like, yes, it's part of my identity, but is this taking over my identity? That's a whole different thing. Again, we're a Rubik's Cube. Humans are complex, so we do have multiple different sides to us, whether those sides are finished or not. So in growing and working and creating ourselves, I feel like something that I've also been really working on is catching a break. We talked about catching a break, leaving work at the front door, just relaxing, unwinding when there are so many factors going on in your life. How can you catch a break from social media? How can you catch a break from all of the pinging on your phone when people are messaging you or notifications are popping up, or, oh, you have to post this on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever else it may be. Check your emails. There are so many different stressors and just, what would you call it? Me and Cassidy and I were talking about this. Sensory overload. When you have that sensory overload, it becomes too much and you become all up in your head and you're just trying to decompress and be like, who am I? I mean, like, it even goes beyond social media. When I'm driving home back and forth from here in Indiana back to see my family back in Michigan, I'm driving along, I see ads, I see billboards, I see so many signs, so many things to look at that I'm like, oh, this is over here, this is over here. What is there not to look at that my brain isn't just consuming? And so I know that's one of the things I talk about on Talk It Up is what you give awareness to. What intention are you putting behind something? So here's my question for all of you. What do you do when you don't have to do something? Bringing that all together now, I know that I say there's part of me that thinks of my identity as the reporter. But then that question of what do you do when you don't have to do something, when you're just at home, you're in your own energy, you're in your own space, you have your own time. Time is precious. What do you do? What identity can you connect yourself to when you don't have to do something? What do you just like to do for fun? What do you enjoy in life? What do you like to learn? What do you like to experience to create the life that you want to live? All right. I think that's a good point to wrap it up. I don't know. Who knows? But also, tying this back in again, I will be bringing my aunt on for episode 11. So that means there will be no episode next week. It is what it is, because it is going to be a longer one, so I'm going to need a lot more time to sit down with it, digest the information, and then give it all to you guys. But if you want more information, you're going to talkitupwtaylor.weebly.com. I know I said this week we would have Talk It Up on Spotify. It is only one episode though, because there's episodes and you got to download the files and then you got to type in the descriptions and then you got to upload it. Not that it's a lot of information or things to do, but when you already have things to do, it piles up. So we got to spread it out and have the balance. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. We did it. This is episode 10. Oh my gosh, I didn't even get into one of the things that made me mad. Ooh, I feel like that's fine. I feel like, I don't know, it happened yesterday, so it really ties in. Okay, before we wrap it up, that was a teaser right there. We got a ticket yesterday. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a speedster, a little bit. Thank you, Dad. But I was just coming home. I was 15 minutes from home, and then the police showed up, and I was like, oh my gosh. But we were not even speeding at that point. We were going at the speed limit. I got a ticket, not happy about the ticket. I was livid. I was going off. I was cursing. I was having a bad time. And then we had a really good day today because we were like, you know what, Taylor? It's on you. You made the choice. And then you had the consequences. So kind of your fault. Just hold yourself accountable. Everything is temporary in life. You'll make the money back. You'll figure it out. You're good. You're good. I hope you're all good. Anyway, have a great week. Have a great rest of your time. Have a great next 2 weeks. And I will see you for episode 11 in 2 weeks. Goodbye, everyone.